Good afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit today about how to do some research using the TVCC databases. Um, it's real easy to get to if you go to TVCC's webpage and to online tools and over to library. You'll see the library's webpage. The page has some crucial information as far as the hours. It has some buttons where you can email us, or occasionally we'll go live and you can click on that and speak with us or chat with us. Across the top, we have information that is drop downs where you can learn a little bit more about research guides or research databases. Through the middle, we have information. I wanted to point out that we have links for Office 365, which is free to you. It's Microsoft Office, like your Word products, Excel, those types of things. We also have RefWorks, which we'll talk about a little bit later. RefWorks is a citation management system. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we have this little blue widget, which is called EBSCO Discovery. And that's where you'll start a search. This is kind of geared for that first basic English 1301 search or a speech search, something like that. And so we're going to just start out by doing a general search for something that people might feel kind of passionate about these days. And we'll look at a search for fake news. So all I'm going to do is type in that term fake news and click on the search button. And what you see here is a login page, and you'll just put in your Cardinal ID and then your password. And when I say Cardinal ID, I mean it's going to be the same thing that you use to log in to get your email or to get into Canvas. So once you do that, you'll put in that information and click on login. And then from here, you'll see your search results. And once you get to this page, you'll see that there are 33,000 items that deal with fake news in some way. And we're going to limit that to full text because we want to see items that are full text, that we have all of that information for. And then we bring that down to 19,000 items. And we're going to narrow that down a little further by magazines. And you'll notice there are source types. We have newspaper articles, magazine articles, academic journals. And the difference between those are newspapers, obviously, are newspapers. Academic journals are professional journals that are written for people that are in a particular field. And for the higher that you go with your education, the more you'll see an instructor require you to use those. But just starting out, a lot of times your instructors will only require you to use a magazine article. Academic journals, in this case, would be written for maybe social scientists, people in the psychology field, sociology field, something like that. But for us, we're just going to look at magazines. So once we click in the magazines, we're going to see that number drop down to 4,000. And we'll go a little further and we'll go ahead and look at subject, which we'll see that fake news has subjects in these particular areas. And I'm curious about fake news and social media. So if I click into social media, then it's going to limit my results to fake news and social media. So I'm going to look at this second one. It's called A War of Words, and that just looks like it's interesting just by the title, because typically that's what we look at, if something's interesting to us. So I'm going to click on A War of Words. And what comes up is just a basic HTML article. There's a little abstract here, which is a summary of what this article is about. Anything that's in blue, you can click on. It's a hyperlink. It'll take you to additional information. If I scroll down a little further, I can choose which language I want to view this article in. And you'll notice there are several different languages here. If I want to see Spanish, I can click on that, click on translate. Takes it a few seconds for it to translate that, but eventually it gets there. There's the article in Spanish. I'm going to go back to my original language. Here's my article. Again, you'll see the term that I searched for, fake news, social media. Those are bolded for me. If I go over to the side, I'll see tools. I can send this to Google Drive or to OneDrive. I can add it to a folder. I can email the article to myself. Excuse me. And if I use this article in any particular way, if I quote it, if I use an idea from it, if I paraphrase it in any way, then I have to cite it. Well, these databases that I'm going to show you today will allow you to push this little button and give you the citation formats. So you most likely, if you're in an English class, will use the MLA format. So here is the MLA citation. You can copy and paste that, or you can export it into a citation management system. As I mentioned earlier, when we first pulled up our web page, we have what's called RefWorks. And you'll notice right here it says direct export to RefWorks. So if I go back to the library's front page, you'll notice RefWorks is right here. If I click on RefWorks, I'm already logged in, and so it takes me to this RefWorks page. If I create a free account into RefWorks, then, and that's just a matter of entering your TVCC credentials. Once I create that account, I can click on Direct Export to RefWorks within my article and click on Save, and it will export that into RefWorks. So once I get here, what's the benefit of that? Well, let me show you what that looks like. Once I get ready to create my bibliography, I can do create bibliography and make sure I'm at the MLA 9th edition. You'll notice that my works cited page is already created for me. Here's my War of Words, and I've been doing several of these. So you'll notice it's not just the War of Words that I pulled up, but several items. But that's already done for me. And if you've had to create a works cited page, you know that this is a huge time saver for me. RefWorks is free of charge. There's not any cost to you, and so you're more than welcome to use this service. Again, from the front page of the library's web page, you just need to sign up for that. So let me go back. Here's our article. This is also available in PDF full text. If you click on PDF full text, you'll see what the actual article looked like in print. And one of the benefits of using PDF full text is that you see what it looked like in print, but also it has page numbers. And that's beneficial to you when you actually do an in-text citation, which your instructor will talk more about to you. But if HTML is all that's available to you, ask your instructor how they want you to do an in-text citation for that. All right, let me go back out. There's numerous ways for you to utilize a database. Over on the side, if you find that you still have too many results and you want to see just, let's say we're only going to look at things maybe within the last 2 years, you can use the slider and you can narrow that down to see what all has happened with just in the COVID era. That takes us to 83 items. Maybe I'm curious to see if there's anything, what has happened just within the United States. Then I can do that with just the geographical area. And then that's 3 items that have been printed or been published within the last 2 years. Many different ways to manipulate a database. So that's just a general search within that first widget on our main page. So I'm going to go back out to where we were. I'm just going to start my search over and show you something else that's available to us. Again, from TVCC's main page, online tools and library. And this time we're going to go to research databases. And we're going to scroll down to opposing viewpoints and context. This is a standalone database. It doesn't come through that little widget that we started with. And this database is for really things that people like to debate or argue over, hot button topics. And you'll see right at the front, if you use the little arrows, there's gun control, there's vaping, driving tests. And then if you scroll down, you'll see here's some things that people are really talking about: the Supreme Court, abortion, women's rights. And if you go back up to the top, you can actually search for an issue. Now, since I'm a kind of a stickler for following things, I'm just going to type in fake news. And once I type in fake, I'll see a list related to that. So since I already did fake news and social media, I'll just stick with that. So once I click on that, I'm going to see an overview of the issue. And then I'm also going to get this handy little one-stop shopping, if you will, where it has videos. It has news articles, viewpoints, which are going to give you, two sides, of the issue. Here's a pro of one of these, and here's the negative of it. And then you'll also see here the academic journals, here reference material, audio clips. But one of the things that I like about this particular database is that it also has statistics with it. If you click on the blue hyperlink here, you'll see statistics. Maybe I want to see what are the experiences with fake news among U.S. adults. And here's a little chart. Here's reported being deceived by a fake news story by age groups. And then when you scroll down here again is your citation. You'll also note you can direct export to RefWorks. So it's just a matter of clicking on the button. Yes, export. Yes, I want to import. Okay. Here that is as well. So we've tried to go with things and purchase things that are simple to use, one-stop shopping kind of things, because we realize that the more clicks that you have, the less likely you are to use something. So again, if you don't see what you're looking for, on this front page, you can click on browse all 486 issues. Maybe you're looking at maybe you're looking at police brutality. Here's all of that broken down. Again, if you don't find something while you're scrolling, then you can search for it again up in the search box. But if you don't have any idea of what you're looking for, then this is a good place to start for you. And again, it's called Opposing Viewpoints, and it's located under the red research database box. If you have any questions or get lost, you can come and see us in the library, or you're more than welcome to click on the button and it will send us an email.